Stephanie makes out with a dude in front of us. Rachel goes off to a bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you do in this situation?
If I was there?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Delve Deck Stories. I'm Gabe and I'm here with Tess. And today we're going to be jumping into some truly unhinged dating and relationship stories. So let's get into it. Our first story today comes from Melinda and answering a question from the original Delve Deck. What seemed harmless to you as a kid that you look back on in horror now? Melinda says, lying to my parents about spending the night at a friend's house.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like that's like a pretty standard teenager thing.
Yeah, that's like a coming of age kind of tale.
Yeah, you gotta lie a few times.
Right, just a few. I was a good kid. Good grades, never in trouble, didn't drink, didn't date. Freshman year of high school, we moved to a new city and I didn't have any friends. The first friend I made was this girl, Rachel. I don't know, is Rachel going to be a good girl, bad girl? We'll see.
It's like Rachel might be a bad girl.
I don't know. Rachel was a cool girl. Okay, so we were both wrong.
I feel like cool girls in high school tend to be the bad girls.
She listened to the college radio station, drank and smoked, very cool, and dated college boys. Super duper cool.
They're like freshmen though.
Yeah, this is like a 4 or 5 year... who knows how old these college guys are. She's a bad girl.
You're dating a freshman in high school?
But she also had good grades, so she's not so bad.
Okay.
Rachel was in all my advanced classes, which is how we met. So smart, bad girls.
The best kind.
Yeah. And one Friday, Rachel invited me to a slumber party at her house. So I told my parents that's where I was going after school.
Okay.
School lets out, and Rachel leads me not to a school bus that goes to her house, but a city bus along with the other girl, Stephanie, who I didn't know very well. Rachel was like, we're going to meet up with my boyfriend and his friends. At this point, I didn't know what she meant by this, so I was like, okay, trying to seem cool. I assumed we were meeting some other high school boys for a movie or food or some normal teenage activities. This seems like this is already a setup for something bad.
Yeah, no, it sounds like they're not doing normal teenage activities.
Melinda was going in naive and thinking, oh, this is teenager stuff. And then I feel like we're about to dive into not... Maybe college? Who knows? I don't know. We take the bus to a shopping center and Rachel goes into the drugstore to buy assorted supplies. Candy, soda, condoms, lube. Oh man, we started off so good and then we ended up a little raunchy. Outside of the store, her boyfriend is waiting with two of his friends in a Jeep and Rachel and Stephanie hop in. I don't want to lose the only friend I've made since I moved to town, so I also get in. I'm in the back seat with Stephanie and the two boys while Rachel's up front with her boyfriend. Stephanie and I are both on boys' laps. Oh boy. Oh boy. And I'm thinking about how I would get in trouble if I called my parents for help and probably piss off Rachel, so I just sat there quietly and very uncomfortably.
This is classic high school. First of all, piling too many people into a car, 100%. We all did that.
Yeah.
But also not wanting to call your, like, I don't know. I get that.
Yeah, you don't want to be the narc.
No.
Like, you don't want to be the nerd that narcs on all the friends and was like, oh man, I'm with Rachel and she belts into a car pulling safe and don't have seatbelts.
There's too many people in this car.
Then we pull up to a house, go around the back, and there was a pool. Okay. They turn on some music and Rachel, Stephanie, and the three guys who are college aged, still undisclosed age range, but we're going anywhere from 18 to 22 now, all get in the pool naked, and there was no way I'm getting in with a pool naked with these people, so I was like, I'm just gonna go hang out and do some reading. Wine coolers come out, everyone is drinking, I'm still like, no thanks, reading, and trying to tune out the mischief. I am sure they thought I was a huge prude, which I kind of was, so I didn't really care.
Yeah, Melinda, that's some self-awareness right there, because this was a dangerous situation, but...
At this point, I knew if I called my parents, they'd be furious that I'm at a drunk, skinny dipping party with college boys and not at my friend's house like I said I would be, so I just tried to stay out of the way and hope nothing else bad would happen before tomorrow when I could reasonably call my parents to pick me up. I also had no idea where I was, and this was way before cell phones and GPS, so even if I wanted to call my parents, I would have no idea how to tell them where to find me.
What would you do in this situation?
If I was there?
Yeah. Would you skinny dip?
It seems questionably legal.
It's definitely illegal.
That is a big no-no.
Yeah, don't do that.
All right. After a couple hours pass, Rachel and the rest of them are like, we gotta go. And we pack up and go to another house. How many houses? What are we doing here?
Go home.
Yeah, you could just ghost your way out.
Yeah.
And then you're like, where did this person go? And you're like, guess we lost him. But we still don't go to Rachel's house to do normal girl stuff with parents around. We go to another house. It now dawns on me that we probably broke into that house's backyard to use the pool. Great. I'm now involved in underage drinking, hanging out with much older boys, drunk driving, and probably breaking and entering. So much for my good girl reputation.
Wow.
Wow. She became so cool.
Melinda, you are... Yeah, I feel bad for Melinda. Also, she seems really scared of her parents, and she kind of just wants to be picked up.
She's just a good girl, you know? Not trying to live that bad girl life.
No.
We go to the next house. No idea whose place this is, but Rachel's boyfriend seems to have access to it and no one else is home. The place is like a weird hippie swinger house with erotic sculptures and candles and incense all over, and I am absolutely horrified. Yeah, that makes sense. Rachel wants to take a bubble bath in a giant jacuzzi tub.
I don't understand this happening freshman year.
Yeah,
That's like the craziest part.
This feels like everything I experienced in high school. All right, so Rachel and Stephanie get naked, again, and get in the tub, and they're having a grand time splashing around with the boys hanging out. I continue being an absolute killjoy, trying to avoid all of this mayhem. I knew at this point everyone probably hated me. They probably did, but I did not care.
I'm surprised that they didn't get rid of her.
I had never even kissed a boy, and I was not going to join whatever this was with the rest of them. Next, Rachel goes off to a bedroom, out of the jacuzzi now, to have sex with her boyfriend, which was very loud, very audible. And Stephanie starts making out with one of the other boys. I'm not about to make out with this third boy. Of course not. Good on you, Melinda.
I know, he's probably like the worst of them also. You know, the leftover isn't
they're
hot.
like, oh, we gotta bring Larry around, you know?
Yeah.
Just a total dork.
He probably would have read with her.
Yeah. Who knows? He's like, I'll bring a book, you know, we'll share this quiet time, we'll light a candle, it'll be great. You know?
Yeah.
And that's the most we'll do. So he continues to drink alone while I read and Stephanie makes out with the dude in front of us. Oh, gosh. Come on. Have some manners. Go into a closet. 7 minutes in heaven, right? Thankfully, the third boy did not seem remotely interested in me. Really, none of them should have been interested in any of us because we were all 14 and these boys were at least 18.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah. She continues with, I don't think he said a word to me the entire time. Probably for the best. Honestly.
Yeah.
The whole thing felt like a weird orgy party I didn't know I had agreed to attend. I waited until everyone was seemingly passed out before I finally dozed off for a few hours. The next day, Rachel's boyfriend dropped us all off at the beach at like 6 a.m. and drives off.
What the beach?
What?
What?
Not even the house. All right, get us, scram.
Just outside somewhere?
I could just imagine this dude, frosted tips, you know, no seatbelt in the driver's seat, drops him and was like, see you later, and then just speeds off and sand gets blown in their face. Where's the beach in relative to where the house is?
This is insane. Also, I mean, I get it. It's like dark out. You don't know where you are.
6
I don't
a.m.?
know. It sucks also that, I mean, like, would you call your parents to come get you at this point?
At this point, I would probably call my parents, be like, oh, we took a bus or we went to the beach and now I need you to pick me up. So I waited until around 9 a.m., a time that I think I can reasonably call my parents to pick me up. I tell them we decided to get breakfast and hang around the beach, and could they please come get me soon? I mean, after a night like this, I feel like you just don't want to go out anymore. Like, you stay in home, do those advanced high school courses that you were enrolled in, focus on the studies, go to a good college, avoid all of these Rachel boyfriends, friends, adjacent people.
I would be so scared. I'd be like, we have to change schools.
Yeah. We just moved here. I don't care. We have to go now. Mercifully, my parents accepted this bullshit about breakfast and picked me up an hour later, totally buying the story about how I'd spent the night at my friend's house. To this day, they have no idea what I was really up to, and as an adult looking back, all I can think is I could have been raped, arrested, murdered, gotten a drunk driving accident with these drunk boys, or any number of terrible things. Yes, very much so.
100%.
As an adult looking back, I now realize how dangerous all of it was, and kind of blame my parents a bit for being the kind of parents who would definitely have punished me for getting up in that situation instead of being understanding that I didn't know what I was getting into and needed their help. What do you think? Do we blame Melinda? Do we blame Rachel?
I don't know that we blame the parents.
Why not?
I just blame Rachel. But also, I mean, okay, I get it. If your parents were not more, if your parents were more understanding, or the type of parents that you could reach out to, then maybe you would have felt comfortable calling them. Like, I do get that, but also the leap to blaming the parents feels like a jump. I'd go college boys first.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Rachel. Then Rachel's parents. Then
I think I would add, I'm going to throw in another one. It goes definitely college boys, because y'all are weird, creepy predators, for one. Then I would go Rachel's parents.
Oh,
I throw a new one in. Rachel's parents, because they raised Rachel to have this, maybe they didn't create a loving home, or one that was supportive, or they were never around. So Rachel had to figure out other things to do, found those creepy predator boys, hung out with them. But I also think that if we're going to blame anyone, also, like, in the question of, like, are we blaming Melinda or Melinda's parents? I definitely think Melinda's parents they do deserve a couple lickings here, because they are the ones who are setting up that house, or that, like, family dynamic where it's like, if you felt comfortable, you could come talk to us. You could tell us things. You could, you could trust us.
All around the parents and the college boys.
Yes. College boys, parents, then the girls.
I feel bad for Melinda. I'm not saying that it's 100% Melinda's fault.
No, not 100%. Maybe like 5. So please argue amongst yourselves and let us know, whose fault was it? Definitely the boys, but also, was it the parents?
Yeah.
The next story comes from Sara, and this is from the original deck. What was just a phase for you? One night stands. Okay.
All right. That's a good answer.
We are just jumping into this one, I see. I'm a lesbian, and after my girlfriend and I broke up, I thought I would play the field. I met a really hot girl at a bar one night and danced and chatted until the bar closed. We made out a bit at the bar, and she told me I looked like Taylor Swift, which I don't really agree with, but we were both a bit drunk, and I guess I could sort of see why she thought that, since I am also tall and with long blonde hair. I guess that's a qualifier for anyone. So anyone
if you're tall
out there,
and you have long blonde hair, I mean, sure, Taylor Swift is very tall.
You look like Taylor Swift.
Thank you. My hair is not long at the moment. Or naturally blonde.
Before. Yeah. Oh, okay.
It has been. Where was this chick when I was at the bar with long hair?
We went back to her apartment and started hooking up. And about halfway through the hookup, she asked if she could call me Taylor, which obviously is not my name. I was like, my name is Sara, though. And she goes, yeah, I know, but I thought it would be fun to just pretend. Okay, this seems like a red flag already. Just gonna point that out there.
I mean, I guess we've had stories like this before. It's like, I guess if you want to role play, that's awesome. But you do need somebody to consent to role playing with you.
Yeah, you can't just call someone some other name and then they'll be like, no, that's not my name. And they're like, yeah, shut up.
Shut up. You're Taylor.
I was getting a creeped out vibe. Yep. Okay. Makes sense. And said, I'd rather not. We continued fooling around, but she kept bringing up Taylor Swift, saying I remind her of her. I needed to get out of there, so I told her I was starting to feel hungover from all the alcohol and said I was just gonna head out. She goes, I guess you weren't ready for it.
What?
And then laughs at her own joke. Okay, this went from, hey, I'm a Swiftie to, hey, I'm a serial killer real quick.
I feel like dropping a weird Taylor Swift, that's just like not cool. It's like in an embarrassing way.
Yeah. Now, it would have been even better if she goes, I guess you weren't ready for it, Taylor. I would have been like, all right, we got to get the hell out of this place. And yeah, the fact that she laughs at her own joke,
yeah,
that's it. She's like, I don't know how.
That's you're like, it's some creepy like Chucky laugh.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's not gonna be sweet. There's no way it's sweet and seductive where she goes, I guess you weren't ready for it.
Guess you weren't ready for it.
I was like, yeah, okay, have a good night. When I got home, I checked my phone and saw a zillion text messages from this girl quoting Taylor Swift lyrics.
What?
I replied the next morning and told her the night was fun, but I'm not over my ex and don't think I should be dating anyone right now, and then blocked her number. I would have also reported her to the police. I mean, just saying. It's just, you gotta I wouldn't have even responded to that text, by the way.
No, that would be an immediate block for me.
Would you... So in this situation...
Would I have gone through with it?
Would you have... Okay, that's one question. I was going to say, would you have engaged in the text message just to respond, or would you have immediately blocked?
I would have immediately blocked.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason. There's no... It's like you're just goading that person to then find you home. Like, they somehow reverse engineered, your phone number, and they know where you live. They looked up your billing information.
Also, you don't give a one-night stand your phone number.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah, but you weren't very good at one-night stands, so I'm glad it was a phase.
maybe the long-term relationship is your thing, and the one-night stand is...
You don't give them your number.
It was a short phase. It was a little phase.
Also, this Swiftie chick, I feel like I like Taylor Swift, but this is why I would never identify as a Swiftie, because of weirdos like this. Stop that.
Right.
Stop it.
You give Swifties a bad name.
Yeah. Swifties give themselves a bad name.
Right. Yeah.
Chill out.
Especially Swifties with Sara with no H, by the way.
Oh, no H?
This is a Sara with a no H.
Get out of here, Sara.
Couldn't even...
Oh, and you didn't want to go by Taylor.
Yeah. And she finishes the story with, I have not even tried to have a one-night stand since then.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you play along if you were having a one-night stand and somebody thought that you looked like a celebrity? I feel like what celebrities do you get? Number one, I know you get Tom Cruise.
So I get Tom Cruise sometimes, and I also get Dave Franco sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Would you play along?
Would I play? I guess it depends on who I was hooking up with, right? Like if I was like, oh, I'll never be able to meet someone like this ever again. Maybe I would play along. I don't know. It's hard to say. Also, I feel like maybe at a different phase in my life, I would be like, yeah, this is weird and like unexpected. So like, why not? It'd be a good story.
It is a good story. Also, I think it depends on the celebrity and whether or not you like them. Like sometimes I get Gwyneth Paltrow weirdly.
Okay. I don't see that.
I don't see it. Yeah. I think it's the way that, like a vocal thing.
Okay. And you don't carry around like jade eggs and stuff?
It is also because of all the eggs, but I don't know if I would want to play. I would be kind of like, okay.
Also, Gwyneth seems like such a... If you were hooking up with someone, it's like, oh, Gwyneth. It just feels like a mouthful to get out. And like, it just doesn't feel like not a sexy name. No offense to Gwyneths out there, but like, it just feels like Gwyneth is a long... Like, we're working with multiple syllables here to get a name to sound sexy and seductive in a hookup.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's not one of those that would work.
But yeah, I do think it probably depends on the celebrity that you're being compared to and whether or not you want to pretend to be this person. And it sounds like Sara maybe isn't into Taylor Swift. Yeah. So she didn't want to be called Taylor.
Right.
So I guess what celebrity do you look like and would you pretend to be with them? Would you pretend to be them for a one-night stand?
Yeah. I don't know. You tell us. Would you? Would you?
I used to get Kesha a lot. I would pretend to be Kesha.
Kesha. Okay.
Not anymore. My hair isn't the same. It was when I had long blonde hair.
It's the long blonde hair.
Very curly.
There we go. Anyone with long blonde hair looks like a celebrity. Our final story today comes from Alexandra from the original deck as well. What is your most cringeworthy high school memory?
A lot of those.
Yeah. So many. My freshman year of high school, I became obsessed with this kid named Zach. Z-A-C-H. Because there's many ways to spell Zach. I just want to,
I'm glad that we're clarifying the way that people spell their names.
Yeah. Not Z-A-C, not Z-A-C-K, it's Z-A-C-H.
I think Z-A-C-H, even though it's weird, is the preferred way for me to spell Zach.
I mean, it's from Zachary. It makes sense. I have a good friend, Zach. I love the kid. He's great. I love this spelling of Zach.
Yeah, because of,
Yeah. Now, Zac Efron, I don't know.
I don't know what's going on there.
I thought we were Whoa. I thought we were soulmates, but lucky me, he didn't know I existed. So probably not a soulmate. I'm just gonna say it. Like, it doesn't sound like if they know or if they don't know you exist, then you're not soulmates? I don't know. Can you Can you have a soulmate who doesn't know you exist?
I feel like this is like a classic rom-com thing.
Right,
you're like, oh my God, but we're like meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just want to preface this again. He didn't even seem to know I existed. I would stare longingly at him in Spanish class, wishing he'd talk to me, but he never did. I don't know, like maybe because he didn't know you existed, or because you didn't actually verbally say something, communicate to this other person. Zach, why would he know you existed other than like that weird girl who keeps staring at me in Spanish class, right? Like,
he's like, I don't want to talk to her. She's like foaming at the mouth. She's like,
it's almost like from Twilight, where they're like, he's like
some weird Edward stuff. That was hot though.
Then one day, my opportunity arrived. All of the students had to fill out a contact form in class, and I may have snuck a glance at his stalker. I started sending anonymous love letters to his home. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what this reminds me of? It's like when you're like, oh, how did you meet Grandpa, like that story. And they're like, I just kept stalking her.
I just followed her home every night.
Until she said yes. Like those stories when you hear them in a rom-com or you hear them or whatever, you're always like, oh, that's so sweet. And then you really break it down and you're like, that's creepy.
This is not the way. I feel like, what is this person's name again?
This is Alexandra.
Alexandra, I feel like she was a teen girl who had watched way too many rom-coms. And like really just her brain, I think, was a little ruined by them.
Yeah. You're like, if I profess my love in these anonymous letters that I
anonymous too. Yeah. She's like, he doesn't know I exist. Let me never introduce myself, never speak to him, and then send him anonymous notes.
He'll figure out who I am. He'll realize by these creepy letters, we don't know what's in them, at least of yet, but he'll know by what's in the letters that I am his soulmate.
Yeah. Would this work on you?
No. At first I might be like, oh, this was sweet. Like if somebody wrote me a love letter and it was like normal, I would probably be like, oh, that was sweet. And then I'd throw it away. But if it continued to happen, I would be very concerned for my own safety.
Yeah.
And
especially because he didn't give her his address.
Yeah. Like,
she just like
this?
Found it.
Yeah. It's not like somebody he knows and was like, oh, here's like a little poem and I'm asking you to like the dance or something.
Yeah.
This is like, I full on got your address and I'm sending you love letters. You don't know who I am, but I know everything about you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool. I would tell him about how beautiful I thought he was and how I knew we were meant to be. No, stop. If only he would notice me. Really?
I feel sad for her.
Yeah, I feel sad for a lot of these people, but here's the thing. I'm kind of feeling sad for this victim, Zach. Unsolicited love letters, anonymous from someone who took the address without permission or consent.
Yes. All right.
I'm just saying.
Luckily, she called it a cringeworthy memory, so I don't think she thinks she's in the right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, maybe years later she realized, but at the moment, she was like, you know what I gotta do? Send more love letters. No, don't do that. This went on for weeks until I finally decided it was time to come clean. And what, sign your name at the bottom? Like, what are you gonna do? Show up in Spanish class and be like, te quiero mucho, I want you.
I want to know how, like, often, like for weeks, like how many of these daily? Like,
that is a good question. Like, what is the frequency that she's pumping out these letters?
Also, you're in high school, so like his parents presumably are like finding these.
Yeah, so it's got to be, she's like, oh, honey, you got another creepy letter. And they're like, we're hiring a private eye to figure out who this is.
I feel like if I were the parents, I would be like, this seems weird.
Yeah, is this a child that's sending my child a letter? I don't know. Or is this an adult?
Yeah.
Is this a college-aged person?
Yeah.
I thought when I told him the letters were from me, he would immediately ask me to be his girlfriend. Bruh. What? No.
Delusional.
No. We're living in this, delusions of grandeur here, and you're hoping that if you send someone anonymous letters professing your love. Also, as a freshman, what is your vocabulary and
these were
language
not good
skills
letters.
To be like, I long you, lovingly, I want to be with you. Like, how much can you say without saying the same thing? What is the thing that she's saying in here that she thinks is going to win him over?
I feel like she just watched some movie too many times. Like, does this happen in a movie? I can't think of a romantic movie
sure.
where this happens. I'm like, what is it where somebody just
Never seen The Notebook. Never seen The Notebook. Just going to point that out.
He doesn't send her love letters as far as, well, actually, no, he does. He sends her a ton of letters,
Wow.
but it's
Way
after.
to spoil it for me.
No, but
Gosh.
it's after they were. Okay, listen, this isn't spoiling anything.
I'll just read the Wikipedia and I'll get the gist of it. It was going to be like a romantic comedy. I was sure of it. So one day I finally worked up the courage and approached him after class. Zach, I just need to tell you, I am your secret admirer. Or your stalker.
Yeah, no, this is pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. So she says, she admits, I am your secret admirer. His face immediately turned to disgust. And he told me to stop sending him letters immediately. Understandable response. Totally normal way to respond to the situation. Zach, I feel you. Needless to say, I was completely mortified and spent the rest of the year avoiding eye contact with him.
I'm
You should have just changed schools.
Also, I'm proud of you for stopping. And not paying after. Listen, she shouldn't have done it to begin with, but at least when he said stop, she did. Could have gotten even creepier.
Yeah. So, and she finishes with, not my proudest moment, and I still cringe about it today.
I want to know if they ever spoke in the future. Like, do you guys keep in contact? Have you talked about it since? It sounds like maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, do you follow each other on Instagram, or have you DM'd on Facebook and was like, remember that one time I sent you all those creepy love letters?
What if they're married
And then
now?
he was like, block.
She has definitely been blocked across all platforms.
LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, every single platform you can think of. She contacted and he was like, block, 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 block.
Yeah, this is, I'm so sorry, Alexandra, but you were in the wrong.
Yeah, I will agree to you on that Zach was the victim here.
No, I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you, but if you do and you think stalking somebody and sending them anonymous love letters is the way to go, you let us know.
Yeah, I want to know, do you think this was a romantic gesture or just flat out creepy? Because I think the answer, and it should be creepy, but who knows? Maybe you are one of those people that think, hey, a lovely gesture, and I wish someone would do this to me.
Maybe you are 80 years old and this was your love story.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, who knows? And if you like stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe and check out this video.